Hello everybody, Toreno here, and today we're going to take our first look at the first devblog for the next update coming to War Thunder. And that devblog covers the Vickers MK light tank, or technically it's an armoured car, but it's being called a light tank in game, and it's going to be coming to tier 6. Now this actually came out a few days ago, but I wasn't able to cover it at the time, and it actually came out on the same day I posted a video on British light tanks I'd like to see in War Thunder, so feel free to check that video out as well. And basically, this is a one-off prototype that was made by Vickers, and it's based on the Toreno Mark 8 APC chassis, but it's got the turret from the VF-M5 light tank, which we already have in-game. And as you can see, it's a very large vehicle, just under 12 foot or 3.6 meters tall, which I think makes it a little bit taller than the Tiger II, which is a heavy tank, so this is an extremely tall vehicle, which is not exactly the best thing in the world, but I suppose it does mean you can shoot over cover a lot easier. And like I say, it's got the same turret as on the VF-M5 light tank, so it comes with the same gun. It's got a 105mm gun capable of firing HESH shells with a penetration of 127mm, HEAT-FS with 400mm penetration, and 2 APFS DS rounds. One's got a penetration at 500 meters of 342mm, and the other has 398mm penetration. So we've got a good mix of shells which are useful for different situations and enemy types, and presuming it has the same reload rate as the VF-M5 light tank, it should be about 8.71 seconds stock, so it should have a decent rate of fire as well. And combine that with the laser rangefinder that it carries, it should be quite good at hitting targets at long range. And like I say, it's a tall vehicle, so if you're hiding behind cover, you should still be able to fire over cover, with the actual chassis itself being behind whatever cover you're firing from. Although, to be honest, the armour is going to be extremely light if you do take any return fire, as the actual chassis is only able to protect against a maximum of 12.7mm machine gun rounds. And the turret is a little bit better, maxing out at about 50mm for the mantlet, while the sides have about 38mm of aluminium alloy, backed by an additional 6mm of high hardness rolled armour. But the majority of the armour is going to be aluminium alloy, which has a 0.5 multiplier in game, so it actually provides only 50% of the thickness in protection, so that 50mm is only actually 25mm. So basically this is going to be extremely easy to destroy. Though ironically maybe it won't set off fuses on explosive filled shells, so that might be a very slight advantage. And it does look like it's got a glass canopy at the front, so I'm guessing that's going to be armoured glass, which I don't expect to provide much protection, if any, to be honest. However, despite the lack of armour, it does have an extremely high top speed, with the 6x6 vehicle able to reach a top speed of 105 km an hour or 65.8 miles per hour, making this a very speedy tank, faster than pretty much any of the other potential British light tanks that could be added to War Thunder, and does make it very well suited to the reconnaissance role, able to quickly spot enemies, take pot shots even at long range, and then quickly get away before the enemy returns fire. And lastly, the crew complement is 4, consisting of a driver in the hull and the gunner, loader and commander in the turret, which does mean you can take a few hits and still keep on operating, although of course if you lose the loader or commander, it's going to add to the workload of the gunner and make reload rates extremely slow. And let's be honest, if an explosive shell goes off, it probably will kill everyone in the turret and thus the entire vehicle. And in a first for the devblog, they do actually give some tips on how to use this, and basically, like I said, using it as a reconnaissance vehicle, moving to a good position, and then being able to take on enemies and escape before they return fire and do damage to your vehicle. Although, like it says, it is a tall vehicle, so that might make it a little bit harder to conceal yourself. Now, this is going to be coming in at tier 6. I suspect we might get a British light tank lineup, because at the moment we don't have one, but if we don't, I would probably put this at around 9.0 or 8.7, maybe between the Swingfire and Warrior IFV in the Tank Destroyer line, because that seems to be where all the sort of armoured cars are kept, or the few that we have in game. Although, like I said, I think it really needs its own British light tank lineup for this to have its full effectiveness. Anyway, just a quick video for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll join me for the next one. I've been Toreno, and I'll see you next time.